Okay, so the first card you have you passed is the Queen of Pentacles. Really, really, this queen's a really beautiful queen. She's very sensitive. So this is feeling very, very sensitive, more sensitive than usual. You know, there's a good side to sensitive, caring for people, loving people, nurturing, all that. Then there's a not so good side, which is about feeling sensitive toward or about what other people say to you, sensitivity in that way. So I think you were extra sensitive at this time, because I'm getting that. I'm getting a bit of tiredness as well. Maybe they were related, because sometimes, you know, burdens, mental burdens and things like that can make you tired, obviously. I'm not seeing mental burdens though, just very, very sensitive, very kind of almost like touchy, if that makes sense. You know, you're really in tune. You're tuned into a lot of energies as well, a lot of people's energies. Very, very sensitive to what people were saying, especially around work. I think someone might have said something to you and you were a lot more sensitive than you usually would be. You know, usually you just say, oh, well, that's not very good or whatever. But I think you're very, very sensitive, very upset with something someone said. But you're picking up on everything, everyone's energy. You might have had to stop watching things as well, videos, the news, certain news articles or whatever, you know, stories on new sad movies. What else? Music as well. I think you're very sensitive to music. I'm seeing you listening to music. You might have even cried and you had to turn something off. But that's the kind of thing I'm getting. If this is you, this is going to pass. It feels like a big wave of sensitivity. And, you know, when you're in the middle of this, you know, it can be really hard to remember what it felt like to not feel like this. But you've been through this before. I think you do have these waves, these up and down waves, and you always get through things. You always manage. So just remember that. Just if you're in the middle of something like that, just say, well, I always get through this. I got through this in the past. I'll get through this again. I'll just ride this wave and I'll just get through this. So just think about that if you're still going through something like that. I'm also getting this, okay, I'll just say this, removing something, getting rid of something, deleting. That's what I'm seeing, deleting. So you might have deleted photos on your phone or something like that, because I'm seeing memories, trying to release memories. So it might be photos on your phone. Yeah, there's this feeling of delaying, holding off, keeping them there for a long, long time, and then you released. Memories, yeah, I keep on getting release of memories. And I'm getting this, it's time to do this now, it's time to let go now. So, you know, it might be that you literally deleted photos, it might be something else. It feels like a deliberate action though. Whatever this was, it was something you did. And, you know, I think you're still going to have memories of whoever this person is or whatever this is you deleted. But if you're trying to forget about someone, this is a really good start. It's hard to do, I know. But yeah, it feels like you're ready, because I keep on getting this, it's time, I'm ready, I keep on getting that. So yeah, the next card you have, you pass the Knight of Pentacles. More Pentacles. So this feels like support to me here. This feels like support in this card. There's a lot of support in the Queen of Pentacles as well. She's obviously supporting this coin, but there's support here too. I think you wanted to support someone. You wanted to be with this person. You wanted to be around them and talk to them, support them, be with them. I think you really liked them. You might have even had love for this person. I think you do, actually. I think there is love there. I think you're finding it very hard to be around them though, because I am seeing someone else there as well. Not someone in love. It's not like they're with someone in love. That's not what I'm seeing. I'm seeing two people kind of coming together. They're always together. That's what I'm seeing. Them and this other person, they're always together. And you would like to talk, or you wanted to talk to this one person by themselves, but you couldn't because this other person was always there. You have a very close connection with this first person as well, but you couldn't realise that. You couldn't talk to them as much as you wanted to because there's this other person there. If this is making sense to you, I think this second person might disappear eventually. That's what I'm seeing. Not literally going poof into the air. But they're going to go away. They're going to be away from you. They're going to be out of your energy and out of this other person's energy. I'm seeing that. I'm seeing that. I'm seeing something like that happening probably maybe even mid-year this year, summertime this year, middle of the year. This is something they're going to be forced to do, I think. I don't think they want to go to. I don't think they're going to want to go. I don't think that's what they're going to want, but they're going to have to go. That's what I'm seeing. There's a lot of trouble around them. Lots of trouble around them. So maybe it's something to do with that. Maybe they're going to be in trouble. I don't know, but they're going to leave. I'm seeing that. Yeah, it feels really stressful because you wanted to be around this person. You're struggling to support them and be around them. And I think you also thought that this other person who's going to go away eventually, they might have been a bad influence on them. They might have been not a good person to be around. You felt a horrible feeling around them. It was like, oh, this horrible feeling. This person's here and I feel horrible having them there. But I have to talk. I have to have them there if I want to talk to this other person. That's the kind of thing I'm getting. If you look at this knight, he's holding this beautiful coin in front of him, but he's not looking directly at the coin. He's looking over the coin. So you see this person that you want to talk to and be around, and you have love for them. You see them as this coin, but you can't quite look at them because you're always kind of looking over your shoulder, looking above the coin, looking around, looking everywhere else, because you're always feeling this other person there. So it's like you're looking over your shoulder, looking around the corner, all that kind of thing. So that's what I'm seeing in that card. That's how I'm seeing that. And the Knight of Pentacles can be about, being slow, can be stable, sensible. So you're trying to navigate this relationship with this other difficult person around, and you're trying to be very careful with this. You didn't want to annoy the first person. You didn't want to make them angry. You didn't want to make them upset with you. But you also didn't want to have this other person around. It was kind of, it feels like navigating a very difficult maze or something. Yeah, it's a bit like walking on a tightrope. You had to kind of do this very careful kind of walk down this road, and any kind of little move, it might throw you off or something. And you didn't want to mess things up. It feels like you're being very, very, very careful. But that's all going to change. That's all going to change in the middle of the year. I keep on seeing that because this other person's leaving. So just hang in there. If you're dealing with this difficult situation, just hang in there because this other person's going to leave. I'm seeing that twice now. So the last card you have, your past, is the Two of Cups. Yeah, look at this. Look at this strong connection you have with this first person. You have a really, really strong connection. You can connect without speaking. That's what I'm seeing. So you connect with them. Obviously, you want to speak to them. You can't as much as you can, but as much as you want to, I should say. That doesn't make sense, as much as you can. You can't speak to them as much as you'd like to. That's what I'm trying to say. But you still have that connection, even if you can't speak to them. But when you're by yourselves, you really, really connect very, very deeply. You have these very comfortable conversations, all of that. So when you're by yourselves, it's amazing. But there's a struggle to get to them by yourself, if that makes sense. Yeah, it's like this other person's this great big heavy rock, and you can't push it out of the way. Just be aware. This person you're connected to, it feels as if they're loyal to this other person for some reason. Very, very loyal. It might be a relative they're connected to, because I'm not seeing a third party here. I'm not seeing that they're married or connected to someone else. But they're connected to someone you don't like. So yeah, it might be a relative, because this couple's right out in front of this card, but there's a little house and it's far away, it's in the background, and I think that house represents their family. So the only way they can talk to you, or they're comfortable speaking to you, is when they're away from them. So yeah, it might represent their family, it might not, but that's what I'm seeing there. Yeah, it's like they have this unshakable loyalty. They still want to be around you, they still do. They actually feel very, very close to you, and they want that closeness. And they know it's not right, but they're linked to this other person. They just are. They've got this loyalty to them. That's what I'm seeing. I'm surprised the devil isn't here, actually. Not that they're the devil, but they're changed, like these poor people, they're linked to this person, but that's all going to change. Yeah, a physical separation is going to come. And when that happens, the two of you are going to be drawn back together like magnets. Drawn together like magnets. That's what I'm seeing. Drawn together. And you're feeling that physical pull now, even though you can't be around them as much as you'd like because this other person's there. I don't know why I'm getting tongue-tied in this reading. Because this other person's there. But there's still the pull there. There's still that pull. And when this other person leaves, you're going to get back together 100% again. And I'm saying again because I think you used to be a lot closer once. Yeah, look at this couple. They're drawn together. They're drawn together. Just one more thing here. There's a feeling of imbalance here as well. You know, this is perfect balance, but that's not what you're feeling like right now. But you're going to be feeling like that soon. And there's healing in the middle of this card. That's what this caduceus is about. It can be about, physical health, healing, medicine, all that kind of thing. So you've got this feeling of imbalance, and it's health related. So it might be dizziness, might have something to do with mental health as well, because I was picking up on this super sensitivity. It might not be that, but whatever this is, it makes you feel imbalanced. So if this is you, you're going to get some relief. It's coming up for you. And there's this big feeling of release here. It's going to take a lot of pressure off you. And you'll be able to function a lot easier in your everyday life, I think, after you get this release. Yeah, I don't know if it might be ear problems. It might be ear problems, head problems. Something about not feeling balanced. It might be your mental health, but that's going to clear for you soon. That's what I'm seeing. Okay, so the first card you have your presence, the King of Swords. Yeah, so okay, so this is quite similar to what I'm seeing in the Queen of Pentacles. It's release, letting go of old memories, releasing things, these pictures or whatever that was. It might have been old text messages. It was something you used to look at and then you let them go. And you held on to these things for a long, long time. You held on. And yeah, it feels like it was just one last part of someone that you still kept around you, still kept them with you. You'd already let them go. And you didn't want them back. I'm not getting that here, but I think it was more about letting go of, it was more about letting go of a future that maybe you thought you'd still have with them one day. You know, you let go, all of that, but you still had this little bit of hope. It was like, oh, maybe I'll still be with them one day. And so you kept those photos or the text messages or whatever, all the screenshots, all the pictures, all that. And you, every now and again, you'd look at them and you think, oh, maybe it'll happen one day again. Maybe I'll be back together with them one day. Maybe there's a future one day. It's just that tiny bit there, just that little bit there. Yeah, you imagined a future in your head. You didn't tell anyone about this, I don't think, but I think you logically knew that wasn't going to happen. It was sort of ingrained in there, I think, was stuck in there. You know, I'm just thinking about you, I'm seeing you, you know, kind of going about your normal day, loading the dishwasher, all those boring things. And I think while you were doing those things, you still had this picture in your mind of what your day-to-day life was going to be like with them in the future. And it was in there, it was kind of ingrained in there. I think you have these thoughts and these feelings a million times a day without even realising. It was probably stuck in your subconscious. And that's hard to get rid of, something like that. Really, really hard to get rid of. So I think you did the right thing with this healing process, even though it was slow. You know, what I'm seeing is I think you just let yourself get through things in your time. You were kind to yourself, and you weren't ready for a long time, but I keep on getting this, I'm ready now. This is a mind choice as well. You know, the King of Swords puts his mind and his logic before everything. So you knew, it was like, I know this is time. It's a big change, it's a big important change. You knew you couldn't force it. You wanted to earlier on, but you couldn't. And now the time's right. And so you're ready, so you're letting go. I don't think you're telling a lot of people around you that you're letting go finally. I don't think they know you haven't let go. I think there might have been some people wanting to let go of this a bit sooner than you could have. So you just kept all of this to yourself. So this is all what's happening inside of you. That's what I'm seeing. And it's going to set you free. Look at the butterflies on this card and birds and everything. Letting go of this is going to set you free. Really, really beautiful. So the next card you have your presence, the Ten of Pentacles. Yes. Yeah, this is why you've been keeping this to yourself. You've got some people around you who don't understand you. Maybe this is family, because there's family on this card, and you weren't listened to. You didn't feel listened to. You didn't feel heard. I'm getting that. I think you felt as if, when you had this breakup, you spoke to some people around you, probably family, other people as well. And I think you got some feedback that was a little bit like corny sayings or something like that. Oh, one door closes, another one opens, all that kind of corny thing. And I think you're kind of, well, that doesn't make any difference to me. That has no meaning to me. I'd rather you'd say nothing to me than say these things. And, I think you also got some people saying things like, oh, well, my brother's friend broke up and it took them a certain amount of months and they got over it. And what they did was they did this. They went and exercised and they went on online dating and they saw this and they did that. And you're thinking, well, that's not me. That's them. That's not me. I have to do what's right for me. I have to do things that are right for me in the right time for me. So you kept this all to yourself because you thought, well, I spoke to them last time. I got this sort of silly feedback. So I'm keeping this all to myself. I'm still suffering. This is before you let all this go. But you was kind of suffering in silence, I think, because you weren't telling these people what was happening. I think some of these family members might have even said that they weren't happy with this person you were with in this relationship while you're with them. Maybe they said some negative things about this person. Maybe they were warning you about them. They could see something was happening before you realised. And so maybe that's another reason why you weren't telling them what was inside your heart, because you had these very unsympathetic people around you. Because if you look at this card, there's a couple in the middle. And there's this older man here, and he's quite wise, but he's looking over this scene, and he can see that there's this miscommunication between this couple, because they're kind of having a conversation, but they're not having a proper conversation. They're sort of talking briefly, they're about to go in different ways, and he can see that. He's looking over that, he's looking at them, and he's thinking, that doesn't look right to me. That relationship doesn't look right to me. So that's what this person said to you in your family, I think. They said, this doesn't look right to me. I don't like this relationship. But of course, you're in love with them. You didn't listen to them. It's only later on now you can see that they weren't right for you. But I think opening up and saying to this person, oh, I can see that they weren't right for me, I don't think you'd get a very sympathetic response from this family member or whoever this is. They probably say, I told you so, or something like that. So yeah, you're keeping all this to yourself. And I think you're doing the right thing if that's what you're doing. Yeah, so I hope that makes sense. So I think that's really, really what happened. I think you keep a lot of things to yourself, actually, especially around some of these family members, because you've got a lot of people who just, it's kind of like you're on one wavelength and they're on another one, and you just don't understand them. They don't understand you. I don't know. Yeah, a lot of discord there. That's what I'm seeing. Anyway, so the last card you have your presence, the moon. Yeah, again, lots of sensitivity. That's what this moon card's about. Sensitivity, internal ups and downs, imbalance. There's this imbalance here as well. I've seen that in the Two of Cups. It's everywhere. It's all over this reading. You might still be feeling like this, not quite yourself, sensitive. So again, if that's you, hang in there. It's definitely going to pass. I'm seeing this in a lot of readings, actually. It's not just you. Lots of people are going through this right now. Aggravation, sensitivity, being upset over things, falling out with people. There's a lot of that going on. It's not just you. So just hang in there, just ride this wave. It's going to come back down again. You'll feel normal again. And yeah, the interesting thing about this moon card is that, yeah, very interesting. I'm seeing this. This is really interesting. It's relating to this person who's going away. Really interesting. Yeah, if you look at this, the moon, the thing about the moon is it's always lower in the sky in summer, if you've ever noticed that. If you look at the moon, in summertime, it's quite low down in the sky, lower than it is in winter, because, the Earth's slightly tilted in a different way at that time of year, or it's tilted. And, if you look at this card, obviously the moon's really low down in the sky. It's in between two buildings, these two watchtowers. And watchtowers are all about being able to see things, being able to find things out, look over things and see everything. And yeah, I was seeing this difficult person leaving in the middle of the year, and that's summertime. That's summertime. That's when the moon's lower down in the sky. So you'll know all about this at summertime. You'll be up in these watchtowers, you'll be able to look out and see everything, and it'll be illuminated by the moon at this time. So you'll be able to see everything, and you'll know what's happening, and you'll know why they're leaving. You'll know exactly why they're leaving. You'll be able to see everything. Yeah, I think they've done something. And I think you've always suspected something about them. It's quite serious, I think. But you'll find that out. You'll find this out in the summer. I'm seeing this really clearly now. And then when you found this out, they'll be leaving. And because the moon card can be about stress, emotional problems, sometimes it's about not being able to sleep as well. There's that there as well. You'll probably find that a lot of your stress is going to disappear when they do, because they're a really bad energy, a very bad energy to have around you, and they're going to leave you and this other person alone. You'll be left alone to be able to get closer again. Yeah, this is really good to see. It just feels really clear when they've left, really clear. So yeah, the first card you have for your future is the Wheel of Fortune. Okay, so I think this is showing me a little bit of clarity, a little bit more clarity about how you're feeling about this person who's going to leave, how you feel about this other person you want to get close to, but this other horrible person's around. So yeah, with this person who's going to leave, it just feels like they've always been bothering you. They've always been bothering you for a long, long, long time. Not directly, but they've always been around this person, and you've always known something's not right with him. You've always had that instinct, and you don't have to have instincts to really know that. They give you a really bad feeling. You've always felt that around them, and not good feeling. Something's not right. You've always known that. But the reason why doesn't feel all that clear to you. So that clarity's coming later on. This is another card telling you that. The clarity's coming later on. You'll find that out later on. So, you're like this Sphinx, sitting on top of this wheel, and there's this snake and this jackal, and they're coming around this wheel, and they're coming around together, not separately. They're coming around together. And so every time you see one, the other one's there, coming around together. And you want this person to get rid of the other person. You want them to shed the other person, like this snake shedding its skin. You want them to shed this person. And it's still coming up in the future, because you're going to have this frustration around them until the time that they leave. I think you're still going to have this frustrating time up ahead of you. Okay, I'm going to stick my neck out. I'm going to say this. I think there might be something illegal happening here with them, because I'm seeing something being caught out, or someone being caught out, I should say. I'm getting this horrible feeling around them, and they're being caught out. I'm seeing that. And when they're caught out, yeah, there's a lot more that's going to be revealed about them. A lot more. And that's what these watchtowers were about in the moon card. A lot's going to be revealed. Things are going to start to unravel. Like this wheel. It's going to turn around, and things are going to unravel like a big ball of string. And everyone's going to know. Everyone's going to know what this says. They might actually be hanging their heads in shame when they go away. It might be that. But you're going to be like, I always knew there was something about them I didn't like. I had that feeling about them. That's what you're going to be like when this happens. Now, with this person who's close to you, when this other person leaves, it's going to be a huge change for them. Really, really, really difficult for them, because the Wheel of Fortune's about big changes. So they're going to have to leave this other person behind, and they're going to struggle to do that, I think, because they had a lot of loyalty for them. They believed something about them, and when this all goes, when this all happens and this person leaves, it's going to shatter a lot of their perception. So they're going to really struggle with that, I think. And this is in the Eight of Swords as well. So I'll talk about that here. This woman in the Eight of Swords, she's got a blindfold on because she's not ready to move forward. She doesn't want to see what's ahead of her. She doesn't want to realise what the problem is. She can't go back, but she can't go forwards either. That's how she feels. So I think this person, they're going to feel like, oh, all this horrible thing happened. This thing came out. They left. I want to walk away from this. I want to move forward, but I can't quite do that because I had this idea in my mind of who they were. I had this really amazing impression of them. I thought they were this, I thought they were that. They're none of those things. So I can't move forward yet, and I don't want to see the truth yet. I just need to sit here. I just need to process this first. I can't move forward yet. So if you're around them and if you're going to try and make them move forward or force them, they're not going to take to that very well. So don't force them into anything. Just let them sit with this. Just let them process this as they need to. That's the message I'm getting for you. So just be patient with them. Be very, very, very patient with this person. They've had a big shock, I think, or they will have at this time. And I know you'll be like, oh, I'm so happy to see the back of this horrible person. Yay, let's celebrate and all that. They won't be feeling like that. Yes, they are going to come close to you. Yes, they do have feelings for you. They absolutely do. But they're going to have to go through this healing process of letting this other person go first. That's what I'm seeing in that card. So the last card you have for your future is the Seven of Pentacles. Excuse me. I know this, firstly, I just want to say, I know this has all been quite specific, but this is all what I'm seeing. So, okay, just putting that aside. So, okay, so if this is all resonating for you, again, this is what this is showing you. This is about patience. So it's going to take some time once again until you come together properly. A lot of things are going to be in the way. Their feelings, all the old energies of this old person, them having to work through this process. It might even feel like a grieving process for them. So just keep that in mind. Be very sensitive toward them. They might want to retreat into themselves. They might not want to talk to you very much. So if you're with them and they start to come close to you and they start to talk to you and then they start to go away again before they come back again, so there might be this backwards and forwards, don't take that to heart. Just realize that they're going through this, because what I am seeing here really, really clearly is, because you've got the Two of Cups here, you're going to end up together. You're going to end up together. There are a lot of problems, a lot of mountains to climb, a lot of emotions that are going to have to, they're going to have to get over. But you're going to end up together. I can see that really clearly. So just please be patient if this is you, if you're going through this.